Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we continue to read Bhagavad Gita book as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is, written by His Glorious Acharya Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And today, before we start read, I want to share some little realization about our reading with you. And before I begin reading Bhagavad Gita on English. I read the Bhagavad Gita on my native English or Russian, and this book was a revelation for me because I can open Bhagavad Gita anytime when I have to give answer on my question or is that important for me. I can open the Bhagavad Gita book and I could find every time the answer on my any question. It was it was fantastic. It was magic for me. And now when I begin to read Bhagavad Gita book on English, this book is opened up for me from a completely different side. Now I start to understand more deeply what Srila Prabhupada want to say, particularly in this particular verse, and what did he mean. It's very important for me because every disciple want to understand what to his teacher is saying. And now I am very happy. Yeah, I'm very happy to have opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita on English with you. And so today we will read verses 39, 40, and 41. This is very important verses because these verses contain very important instructions for those who want to create the happy family and prosperity society. Yeah. So, well, let's start reading Bhagavad Gita book as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is, written by His Glorious Acharya Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, chapter 1, verse 39, 40, and 41. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Verse 39. Translation. With the destructions of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in religion. Purport. In the system of the Varnashram instructions were many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop a religious habit and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain. Next verse, translation. Then a religion is prominent in the family of Krishna. The women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood or descendant of Krishna comes unwanted progeny. Purport. Good population in human society is a basic principle of peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religious principles were so designate that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not mislead into adultery. According to Chinaki Pandita, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family tradition of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashram system. On the failure of such Varnashram dharma, naturally the woman becomes free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged in the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also propagate adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race, and race and and the risk of war and pestilence. So, verse 41, translation. In increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fell down because the performances of offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Report. According to the rules and regulations of fruitive activities, there is a need to offer uh, periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu, because eating the remains of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful actions. Sometimes the forefathers made the suffering from various types of sinful actions, and sometimes of them cannot even acquire a gross material body, and they are forced to remain in subtle bodies and hosts. Thus, the remains of prasadam food are offered to forefathers by descendants. Their forefathers are released from hostility or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers in a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who are engaged in the devotional life are not required to perform such actions. Similarly, by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of, of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It's stated in the Bhagavatam 11.5.41. Devarshi bhutapta narinam pitrinam na kinkaronayam rinicha rajaya sarvatmana saranam saranyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligation, and has taken on the path in all seriousness, always either duties or obligations of the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, of forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, the first verse that we read, Srila Prabhupada says that for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain, because their elder members are responsible for the spiritual progress of the family. They make sure that a person goes through all the necessary purifying samskaras, and on the death of the elder members, such family tradition of purification may stop, and thereby younger family members lose their chains for spiritual salvation. And on the next verse, Srila Prabhupada is right, the importance of women and importance that women and children have to be protected by elder members. He also writes that the prosperity and well-being of society depends on how pure, chastity, and faithful women in this society are. Because if woman is become free to act and mix with men, this will lead to unwanted population, and that will destroy peace in society. Yeah. And on the next verse, Srila Prabhupada is writes that if the new generation, younger members of family, to destroy family traditions, and they don't respect the elders, and don't offer them remains of don't offer the prasadam food to forefathers, then the ancestors of such people, such degraded family, to go hell. And on this verse, on the report, Srila Prabhupada is right, written that if the person take part, full engaged in this devotional service to the Lord, then he is freed from all debts. And that's and then that people who always remember about Krishna, always engaged in devotional service, he being happy every time, happy and free. And so it's all for today. We will continue on the next time, and we have to remember always that we always have to be engaged in devotional service for the Lord. Always do like yagya, like yagya for the Lord, and we have to always remember about Krishna, and we'll read on the next time what is happening, what is happen, what is will happen, what to Arjuna will say to Krishna, and what Arjuna to ask, and what to Krishna answer to his dear devotee. And so it's all for today. Thank you for watching this video till the end, and see you on the next time. Hare Krishna. Thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.